Hey guys, this is Tom McCullough reporting directly from the White House with the Next News Network. And folks, over the weekend we saw something big, something the mainstream media doesn't want you to care about. Vice President JD Vance took a bold trip to Greenland, and let me tell you, it's an absolute game changer. The left is losing their minds, Denmark's throwing a tantrum, and Greenland's locals are clutching their pearls. But here's the truth. This move by Vance and President Trump is about keeping America strong, safe, and ahead of the curve. And let's break it down. Also, I'm wearing sunglasses today. It's super bright out, and I don't want you guys thinking I'm squinting the whole time. So on Friday, March 28th, JD Vance landed at the U.S. military base, Puttofik Space Base in Greenland. He was there to sip coffee and chat about weather. Though, yes, he did say it was cold as heck up there, and who can blame him? It's Iceland and Greenland. It's tiny. It's cold.
I want to bring a message for President Trump. He's grateful for your service, grateful for what you do up here, and just wanted me to tell you that he's proud of you and he thinks about you. And of course, the same is true for everybody that's flanking me up here. We're thrilled to be here because the mission that you guys do is so important for the United States. It's important for our national security. And today, everybody that I met to a person was professional, was kind, was knowledgeable, and was dedicated to our country. You're a great credit to the United States of America, even though you are very, very far from home.
No, Vance was on a mission. He brought along his wife, Usha, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Energy Secretary Chris Wright. This wasn't some vacation. This was a power move, a signal to the world that America's back, and we are not messing around. Why Greenland, you ask? Simple. It's a gold mine for national defense. Picture this, a massive island in the Arctic packed with resources like oil, gas, and rare minerals we need for everything from fighter jets to your cell phones. It's also got a prime spot for watching Russia and China, who, trust me, are licking their chops to get a foothold up there. They most certainly want it.
I think a lot of Americans wonder, why does Greenland matter so much? Why does the mission of this base matter so much to the American people? And I learned a lot about that today myself. Of course, you can read about it in a book, but I saw it up close and personal. And if, God forbid, to my fellow Americans, if a missile was fired from an enemy country or an enemy submarine into the United States, it is the people here before us who would give notice to our brave men and women further south in the United States to let people know what was coming and, God willing, to try to shoot it down and prepare for it. That's one of the things that we do at installations like this. We know that Russia and China and other nations are taking an extraordinary interest in Arctic passageways and Arctic naval routes, and indeed in the minerals of the Arctic territories. We need to ensure that America is leading in the Arctic because we know that if America doesn't, other nations will fill the gap where we fall behind. So what you guys do is so critically important. I think a lot of Americans, certainly I, didn't realize it fully until President Trump started talking about the importance of our Arctic mission, about building upon it, and ensuring that America can lead in the Arctic for the next generation.
The Puttofik base is America's eyes and ears in the Arctic for decades, tracking missiles, keeping us safe from nuclear threats. Trump knows it, Vance knows it, and they're not about to let it slip away. Now, Vance did not mince words. He stood up at that base, called out Denmark, yes, Denmark, for dropping the ball. You've not done a good job by the people of Greenland, he stated. You've underinvested in their security and their future.
Now, President Trump, as he says all the time, and as a lot of people recognize, is a president of peace. We want to have good relationships with everybody. That includes, even to the extent possible, the Chinese and the Russians. But part of having good relations is showing your strength when you have to. And unfortunately, the story of Greenland over the past 20 years when it comes to security is that we've underinvested in the infrastructure, we've underinvested in the security architecture, and we've underinvested in the brave men and women who are doing a very hard job, as Mike said, to keep all of us safe. That has to change. Now, when I pointed out a couple of weeks ago that in some ways, with all due respect to our Danish allies, they had not kept pace, there was a lot of criticism from Denmark, a lot of attacks at the Trump administration, at the president, at me, at others in our administration for saying the obvious, which is that Denmark hasn't done a good job at keeping Greenland safe. And one of the things I heard was, well, what about the many Danes who lost their lives in the war on terror fighting alongside the United States? Well, look, we obviously honor the sacrifice of our Danish friends in the war on terror 20 years ago, just as, for example, the French honor the sacrifice of Americans in Normandy 80 years ago. But recognizing that there are important security partnerships in the past does not mean that we can't have disagreements with allies in the present about how to preserve our shared security for the future. And that's what this is about. There is no amount of bullying, no amount of obfuscating, no amount of confusing the issue. Our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. You have underinvested in the people of Greenland, and you have underinvested in the security architecture of this incredible, beautiful landmass filled with incredible people. That has to change. And because it hasn't changed, this is why President Trump's policy in Greenland is what it is.
Boom! That's a JD Vance statement, and he's absolutely right. Denmark's been sitting pretty, letting Greenland dangle with America's the one holding the line up there. Vance didn't stop there. He told the Greenlanders straight, you deserve better. Partner with us, we'll keep you safe. And that's leadership, folks. Plain and simple. JD Vance and Trump don't mince with words at all. And of course, the Danes didn't like that one bit. Their foreign minister, Lars Rasmussen, whined about Vance's tone in a little video on Saturday. He said, this isn't how you talk to allies, he huffed. Oh, spare me.
I have a message for our American friends and all others who are listening. Much is being said these days. Many accusations and many allegations have been made. And of course, we are open to criticism. But let me be completely honest. We do not appreciate the tone in which is being delivered. This is not how you speak to your close allies. And I still consider Denmark and the United States to be close allies. We respect that the United States needs a greater military presence in Greenland, as Vice President Vance mentioned this evening. We, Denmark and Greenland, are very much open to discussing this with you, with an open mind.
Allies don't let a strategic gem like Greenland sit vulnerable while Russia and China circle like sharks. Denmark's Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, is even rushing up there in this week to smooth things over, and it's too little too late. The protests in Copenhagen, the Greenlanders waving flags, that's not just noise, that's Vance and Trump see the bigger picture. Let's talk about that picture. Greenland isn't just some icy rock, it's a shield for America. With the Arctic heating up figuratively, not literally, control of that region means control of the future. Russia's got bases popping up like weeds. China's eyeing the minerals. If we don't step up, they will. Trump's been saying forever, we have to have Greenland. And he did tell NBC on Saturday that military force is not off the table. Though Vance, cool as ever, said it won't come to that. And why is that? Because Greenlanders will see the light. They'll choose America over Denmark's neglect. It's all about self-determination, folks, and that's what Vance is banking on. So is Trump. And let's be real. Trump and Vance are playing chess while everyone else is still playing checkers. The left screeches about bullying Greenland, and that's it. Give me a break. This isn't about bullying, it's about strength. The U.S. isn't storming in with tanks. Vance's trip was a handshake, not a fist. He spent 3 hours at Pitifik, scaled back from bigger tour, and it's a smart move, avoiding the optics of overreach. And he did tell our troops there, I just learned today how much Greenland matters. And that's honesty. That's a guy who gets it. We all love Vance. The critics, and they're predictable. The Guardian called Vance's trip foolish. Reuters said it's so discontent, same fake news guys. Politicos clutching pearls over Denmark's feelings. These are the same folks who'd rather see America weak than admit Trump was right. Greenland's new Prime Minister, Jens Frederik Nielsen, barked, Greenland is ours. Sure, buddy, for now. But when push comes to shove, who's got the muscle to back it up? It's not Denmark. America does. We're the only ones that can. Here's the kicker. Greenland's got everything we need to stay number one. Oil and gas to keep our economy humming, minerals for weapons, and tech for our outer space rivals, a military perch to stare down Moscow and Beijing. And Trump's not wrong when he says it's about world peace. Our world, our peace, secured by our strength. Vance's trip was a first step. He didn't just talk, he showed up. And that's more than Denmark's done in years. Now the haters will say this is all about Trump's ego, and that's wrong. This is about America's survival. The Arctic's the new frontier, and Greenland is the key to that. Vance gets it, Trump gets it. He's not some elitist in a suit. He's a guy from Ohio who knows what's at stake. He told our troops up there, we respect Greenland's choice, but we'll keep you safe. And that's not a threat, that's a promise. And Trump, he's the guy who'll make it happen. He always has been, and he always will. So what's next? Denmark's scrambling, Greenland's grumbling, but mark my words, this isn't over. Vance planted a flag, not literally, but you get it. America's waking up to what Greenland means, and Trump's not letting it go. This weekend showed us one thing. JD Vance is the real deal, and he's got Trump's back. National defense isn't a game, folks. It's life or death. They get this. Greenland's the piece we cannot lose. And that's the story from the White House, where I'm Tom McCullough with the Next News Network. And if you like this, share the post, text everybody, give it to the guy at the gas station, whatever. Don't forget to subscribe. And we're keeping it real while the rest play pretend, these fake news guys. Until next time, stay sharp. God bless.